Our final story tonight is about a 9-year-old girl with one thing on her Christmas list. She wants an operation to help her walk unaided for the first time in her life.
Abigail has a dream. She longs to be able to walk by herself.
In the house, she tends to either walk with my hands or she crawls on the floor, and she really doesn't like crawling on the floor. At 9 years old, she wants to be upright like we all are. Every single year, Christmas and birthday lists, the top one is not to be disabled.
Now she is hoping she might get the independence she craves. She's off to America for a life-changing operation not available in this country. Abigail was born 14 weeks early by emergency caesarean when her mother Carrie developed liver failure. She weighed just 1 pound 3 ounces. As a result of her premature birth, she has cerebral palsy, mainly affecting her legs, but this also means she struggles with balance and with basic skills like holding a pen.
Abigail's just an amazing child. When I think back to looking at her in her incubator and wondering what sort of person she would be. Her character is just incredible. She's talkative.
Hello, welcome to the film crew.
She's sympathetic. Her sense of humour is incredible. She's just a lovely little girl, and she's a sponge. You know, she just absorbs so much information and wants to learn. So, you know, she has a real thirst, a real hunger for life.
But Abigail hates being disabled.
I feel angry about it sometimes. I feel cross when I want to shout. I feel teary and sad. I feel lonely. I feel sorry for myself. And I feel yucky.
Let me help you, sweetie.
At 4 years old, she had an emotional breakdown, and at 6, Abigail went blind for a while.
Stop the illnesses.
Why did you do this one then?
Because I don't really like being defeated by illness.
I don't think you are defeated, because every illness you've had, you've got better from, haven't you?
Yeah, well, there's blood in my veins. I feel like an alien.
Every day is a struggle for Abigail. At home, she depends on help from her family for nearly everything she does.
Right, one Abigail, good to go.
I just got
She needs special transport to attend her local primary school, and she has an assistant alongside her throughout the day.
Why?
Good girl, your spelling is fantastic today, you're on fire.
I've got 9 out of 10.
She also helps Abigail with her physiotherapy.
Lovely walking, Abby, well done. I've known Abigail now for 5 years since she joined school. She is the most loveliest little girl in the world. See how long you can hold your balance for. You ready? Okay. You're going to count in Spanish?
1, 2, 3.
She sees all the other children running around, playing games, doing PE, but sadly for Abigail, because of her legs, she can't join in. She has to have me there with her all the time. Abby, try and relax your legs. My wish for her is that following this operation that she can do all those things that she yearns for.
Abigail's mum found out from a friend about a surgeon in America who has refined a procedure called Selective Dorsal Rhizotomy. It's already improved the mobility of hundreds of children with cerebral palsy.
You know, I couldn't believe that there was something that could change our lives so dramatically, and we're not doing it here. I can't fault the treatment that Abigail has received from the moment she arrived into this world. It's been incredible. But we just want the best for our daughter. And if that means carting her across the Atlantic to give her a better future and a more independent life, then that's what we're going to do.
The operation involves testing which spinal nerves are causing stiffness and painful tension in their legs, and then snipping the roots. This has to be followed by a course of intensive physiotherapy.
So we'll leave this one. We'll cut number 2.
I have been doing this for 24 years, and I have done over 2,000 children from some 43 countries. The outcome has been very, very satisfactory.
Dr. Park predicts that Abigail will be able to walk around indoors on her own without assistance. We hope that Abigail will be able to get around outdoors on crutches and that she will no longer need her wheelchair.
But this is not going to happen overnight.
The process of rehabilitation will take months.
Months, yeah.
A month.
So you're going to need a private physio.
1. Private physio. 2. Physiotherapy. 3. Care. 4. Money. And 5. Love.
Like a growing number of other families in the UK, Abigail's family, their friends and the local community have had to raise £36,000 to pay for the operation, plus 3 weeks aftercare in America. Abigail is the second child from Bradley Stoke to go there, and she is being encouraged and reassured by the progress made by 6-year-old Toby Cox.
He couldn't walk around freely like he can now. He couldn't jump, which he's now learned how to do. He couldn't eat with a knife and fork properly before. He couldn't write. And all these are little side effects of getting rid of all the tension and the tightness in his body. It's sort of like freed up the rest of his body.
Look at your legs go! Oh my goodness me! That is quite incredible.
He hasn't used his wheelchair in weeks and weeks and weeks. During the day at school, he walks everywhere.
You show Abigail how tiny your little scar is.
Go on, Toby.
Oh my goodness. That's the tiny little cut that they make. Yes, and that's the bit that has changed Toby's life forever.
Toby he said things are a lot easier when you're not tight, is what he said, which, you know, we can't understand how he feels, but just saying that makes you understand that, you know, everything every day was so difficult for him. And now it's that much easier. So of course it was worth it.
The two mothers are part of a national network of parents raising awareness of the operation and campaigning for it to be provided on the NHS.
Too late for Abigail, but I still think thousands upon thousands of people will benefit if this is one day available here. And it's those people we've got to think about.
Meanwhile, it turns out that Dr. Park's procedure could soon be introduced on a very limited basis in Bristol at Frenchay Hospital. A surgeon has been appointed with this specific remit, but it will depend on case-by-case funding by primary care trusts.
I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to perform this operation in Memphis, where I was doing my paediatric neurosurgery fellowship. And I must say, the effect it has on children is quite remarkable, although there's a requirement for physiotherapy in the beginning, of course, and this does go on for quite some time and requires a significant commitment from the family. It clearly does make a huge difference in the way they walk, in the way they can carry themselves, and also because they become much more confident in their general well-being.
Let's have a look. Which one is sweets or is it candy? You're in American mode already.
It's now just a couple of weeks until Abigail, her mum and dad and 5-year-old sister Talia set off for America for the operation in Missouri.
We're obviously quite nervous for Abigail because she's, as we know, nervous about it.
So nervous, really, really nervous, really nervous.
But I think as we've dealt with everything that's presented to us, we will, you know, one day at a time, one step at a time, we'll get through it, and I think we are fairly, you know, we are positive that we are doing the right thing for her.
Abigail hates being disabled, and it's getting very tough on all of us to try and keep her motivated and happy when she can't play with her friends. And anything we can do to help her in that, we should go and do.
You try your best, but you don't succeed. But you get in love that you need. Stuck in reverse. It's real God. You hold big notch boats. This is the doctor. To fix you. Are you the plumber? I can't believe it. Thank you, Dr. Park.
Well, best of luck to Abigail and her family. And you can find more about Abigail's story on our Bristol website. The address is bbc.co.uk/Bristol.
Well, that's it for tonight. But next week, empty shops in tumbleweed towns. Does the high street have a future? And the strange tale of the Ethiopian emperor, a house in Bath, and the lions he's rumoured to have kept in the basement.
That's all on next Monday's programme. But until then, good night.